Hello and welcome to Season 1, Episode 1 of Ramblings from the Little Shed podcast. My name is Holly and I'm coming to you from Northern Ontario, Canada. And today I have my son Rogan with me. He's going to help me through this inaugural podcast. Hello, Rogan.
Hello. Oh, voice crack to start things off.
That's fine. This is all a learning experience, and this is going to be a very quick intro to this podcast because I have been putting this off for far too long. Everyone has said, just do it, Holly, and so here I am. I'm just doing it. But I have my son here, almost as a crutch, I suppose, because he's well-versed in these sorts of things, and well-spoken, of course. And
I don't know if well is appropriate in either of those categories, but we will see.
Well, you've done a whole lot more than this than I have, so you have experience. So I thank you for being here, son.
Happy to be here. Very excited, in fact.
Wonderful. You've been streaming for a while, so you have the experience. I do not.
That is fair.
Yes.
I do question my audio quality every single time that I do it, but I technically know how it kind of sort of works, so we're here.
Great. Awesome. We have talked about doing this for a while together, and so against Rogan's not better judgment, but I roped him into this. This is my fault.
Let it be known. I have said this is a great idea from the start.
Yes, I suppose I'm just the one that pushes a little bit.
I maybe just didn't have a lot of free time,
yes.
So I've also been putting this off
because he does a lot of this on the side as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to start off by saying that the reason I would love to continue with this podcast, if the listeners will have me, is I really want to explore how animals influence people's creativity. Whether that's a writer, a painter, a baker, any sort of creative mind. I would just love to explore their lives with their pets, and if it has an influence on their creativity.
That is, yeah. I've been thinking about that because that's been on your mind a lot lately, given what you work on and given what you want. Like, you've told me ahead of time, of course, what this podcast is about. And doing some reflection, I might unfortunately fall under the camp of like, animals have not influenced me a ton. And so when I refer to my animals, of course, I am referring to my animals because you are my mom. I live in a shoebox in a different city, but I still call them my cat, my dog. But I'm not around them as much anymore, which A, makes me really sad, and I miss them a lot. But B, also, even when I am, I suppose, I should start with, I sometimes do creative writing, not a ton. I used to do more than I do now. Now I kind of just will write one-off thoughts, free writes, or like big air quotes poems or verses or something. They're not formal in any way, shape, or form. But I don't do a ton of it anymore. But even when I do, it's never really occurred to me, I guess, to like base it on or have it be inspired by our dogs and cat.
Well, I will say, oh, sorry, Rogan.
I was just going to say, so maybe if I don't have a ton to share in that regard, I would love to just poke your mind on it and see how that happened for you and why that continues to be like a driving factor for you.
Yes.
Other than the fact that we love our dogs.
Yes. And I love that. And I feel like you and I are going to explore more than just that as well together. We may even review a book together. But listeners, you want to read Rogan's material. It is incredible.
No,
he doesn't realize it, but he doesn't even realize how much he's influenced my work. So that being said, future podcasts, I would love to interview creatives and talk about their pets. But when Rogan and I are together, we'll probably talk about the pets that we've had in his lifetime with me and before, pre-Rogan, I suppose. But to fill some other space, we'd love to start reading Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman? How am I saying that? Dinniman.
Matt Dinniman.
Thank you, Rogan. Thank you. Sorry, Matt. Because there is a cat in there.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name again, Rogan?
Her name is, oh my God, it's Princess Donut, but there's a long middle Princess something Donut LeChonk, or I haven't read it in a little bit now, but it's a great full name.
Okay, well, we'll get to that one the next time for sure.
Yes, I need to preface this, jokingly recommended this to my mom because I didn't think, if you know anything about this book series, it's a literary RPG, which means it pulls a lot of elements that you would normally find in things like tabletop RPGs or other games and tries to write it into, a story. It's very silly, very just out of this world in a very literal way when I say that. But yeah, there's a cat. So I jokingly was like, hey, you should read this because there's a really funny cat in it. and
so I did.
And so you did.
Yes, and I started reading it, and I think it's fun and funny, and maybe it is Princess Donut, the Queen and Chonk.
Queen and Chonk, that's what it is.
Princess Donut for short, but maybe she's keeping me in the book. But it's probably also what's connecting me to you in the moment as well. And so any reason for a mom to connect with her children is a great reason. I think it's going to be a fun read. And it has a cat. I mean, come on. So that being said, this is a very short episode. I really am testing the waters here, people. Please bear with me. This is difficult. I am stepping out on a very uncomfortable ledge. And Rogan, I appreciate you being here. I want to talk about my work, my book that's coming up. I want to talk about your work because you are well-versed in this world. And everything that you said about RPG went right over my head, but gosh, it sounded great. So do you have anything else you want to add, Rogan, in this inaugural episode?
Episode 0, the most exciting of episodes. You said episode 1, but in my head I'm like,
no, you're right.
0.
You know what? Yeah. Can we rewind that? This is season 1, episode 0. Yep. Okay.
We'll add it in post. The post that will definitely happen. No, I don't really engage with writing, as I mentioned earlier, as much anymore. And honestly, I don't even read that much as I used to. I still do now and then. It's mostly been audiobooks lately, actually, just to like fit it into my pretty busy schedule.
Audiobooks is reading.
Busy schedule. It is. Yeah.
I think this has been determined.
You know that before university and even before high school, I was a pretty avid reader. Yes. Pretty voracious, you could say.
Yes.
And school kind of killed that part of me, I think, just because of how busy it was, but also, all the readings and stuff. And I never really got that back to the same extent that it used to be. Partially also to blame is my gaming PC, but that's a different topic.
Yeah, that's a different podcast.
So I'll take any excuse to talk about writing, reading, all that fun stuff. And I also definitely want to talk about your work and your book, because I've kind of been on the sides witnessing that whole process, and it's really exciting to see it all come together near the end of it.
That's awesome. Anytime I can influence you to read and hopefully write, I'm going to do that. So let's say for the next podcast that we come together and we review a few of these beginning chapters in Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm Matt Dinniman. Ah.
Awesome.
That's the one actually I listen to the audiobooks for, because the audiobooks, the narrator, I'm forgetting his name, but he's incredible. That was actually the first audiobook I ever listened to, and it really did sell me on the medium. So
wonderful. Maybe I'll listen to it as well. I like to do those in tandem. I like to read the paper copy, but also listen to the audiobook.
I never thought that I would like audiobooks just because I just didn't think that my comprehension would be there as well with reading. And I do still think that's true. I think obviously, and I think this is true for a lot of people maybe, if you're sitting down with the book, with the words in front of you, you can read at your own pace. You can take it in however you need to. And I think you just get at least for me, again, better understanding of what's happening. Sometimes if you're listening to an audiobook, it can kind of fly over your head, over your ears a little bit. And that does happen. But you can also have so much fun with an audiobook, especially with the right narrator. And I think that really shines in this series. So that's been kind of like my introduction to audiobooks. And now I find it suits my schedule better, as I mentioned, but I do still prefer books as a medium, as I'm sure a lot of people do.
And I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that's something that we're going to revisit, because there's been a lot of discussion about audio versus print versus digital copies. But I think that they're all important and they all have their place in the reading world. So we're going to leave everything there for now. We'll put it in the parking lot. And I do hope that you will join us on the next episode. Maybe it will be Rogan. Maybe it'll be a surprise guest. But we're definitely going to explore how animals influence creativity in whatever capacity that may be. Can't thank you enough for being here. I do hope that you'll join me on the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye,
Rogan.
Now. Bye, Mom. Bye, Holly.
Bye.